big loser story today, Darren. Got a new guy to talk about. This is Matt Gibson. He's lost 3 stone and now he's running ultra marathons. Talk about turning your life around.
Yeah. Ultra marathons. Wow. It's like impressive enough when you got a marathon runner, but then to like add just like, it's not quite enough, is it? Just add a bit more. It's good, but it's great to hear a weight loss story where people have really, you've turned your life around well, and you've gone from being maybe overweight doing half an hour of football to running an ultra marathon. Fantastic. Before we get on to that though, mate, we have a sponsor for the podcast. Why don't you tell us about that, Mark?
Yeah, well, interesting enough, our guest is Matt Gibson, who is a Man v Fat player. So like us, he plays Man v Fat. This is where you get to lose weight and play football. And if you lose weight on the scales, your goals go up off the pitch as well. So adds to the score, adds to the fun. And if you want to get involved with Man v Fat, you can sign up today using Big Fellas as a voucher code for just £1. Not bad, £1. Eh?
Yeah, can't get much for a quid, as we say all the time on the podcast. Mate, well worth it. If you like football, you want to lose a bit of weight, give it a go and let us know how you get on. But Matt, welcome to the podcast, mate, and congratulations on the weight loss and running the ultras.
Cheers, Jim.
How did you let's start with the basics, mate. How did you get on it? How did you lose the weight?
So originally, a few years ago, I was in denial about my weight. Changed employment, ended up going self-employed, worked for myself, sat on my bum basically, working from home, piled on the weight and didn't notice. I actually saw the adverts when our Man v Fat League first went out, and I looked at it and I thought, I'm not joining that. I'm not a fat guy. And they'll probably be rubbish at football as well. So I just thought, there's no way. Like, I'm not going to follow a load of fat guys around. I'll run rings around them. And I was completely in denial that I piled on the weight. So I then got sciatica. First time I got it, it weren't very nice, but it was all right. It was dealable. It eased off after a couple of days. Second time was horrendous. It's the worst pain I've had in my life. I literally was in bed for 2 days. I couldn't get out of bed. Wow. I was pissing in a bottle in bed. The pain was that bad. Yeah, it was really bad. And plenty of painkillers. And I was lying there. I just thought, I've got to sort my life out here. I've completely gone off the rails. Just eating crap and too many beers, etc. You know the score. So an old army mate of mine, I'm an ex-squaddy, an old army mate of mine, he signed me up for an ultra marathon. And I said, you're absolutely bonkers, mate. I said, I didn't like running when I was in the army, so why the hell am I going to do that now? Just wasn't in the right frame of mind for anything like that. And then it got me thinking about the Man v Fat football thing again. And so I then revisited it when they'd been running about a year roughly. And I went along and I was shocked. I was extremely unfit, overweight. And actually there's a lot of better people, a lot of players are better at football than me out there. And so, yeah, I got it all wrong. But that was the start of the journey, really, like a lot of guys, I guess, that joined Man v Fat. That sort of kick-started my weight loss journey.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of guys that will turn their nose up at Man v Fat and just think, yeah, it's just football for fat guys, and think, I'm way too good for this, and then turn up, and then it's like, wow, this is actually a lot more competitive than I thought.
Yeah, totally. And our league has grown since I've been in it from 4 teams to 8. And nice. It's got a lot more competitive now, which can worry a little bit. It gets too competitive. It goes away from the ethos of weight loss. But we've still got guys in there though that are there. We've got guys that have lost loads of weight, BMI bosses as we call them. I think off the top of my head, there's about 6 at the minute in our league of about 80 blokes.
Yeah. Fair play.
But there's loads of guys that have lost plenty of weight that are still playing in it. So obviously they're losing the weight, and it gets more competitive because of that. But it's a cracking league, and there's some really good ballers in our league. There's lads. We've got I know one. I won't name him, but we've got like one guy who literally turned up with his mate. He said, "I hate football," but he joined and played, and he's actually not. He's lost shed loads of weight, and he's not the best footballer in the world. He'll admit that, but he puts himself about on the pitch because he's lost loads of weight. So it is. I'm a big advocate of it. It's really helped me. I don't think it matters what age you are. We've got guys from 20 to 60-year-old, and lads that aren't great at football, and then we've got lads that are real ballers. So yeah, it's brilliant. So that's how it started for me.
I remember when I joined, mate, and I was the same. I thought, I'm going to go there and I'm going to run rings around people. This is going to be full of blokes who can't really run around a lot. And I'd lost a lot of weight before I even started Man v Fat. I don't think I'd have done it in my heaviest, but I went there and it was like, bloody hell, I haven't played for 20 years for a start, but it was like, Jesus, it's a much better standard than I thought it would be. But yeah, you're absolutely right. But that it is good for everyone. You don't have to be the best. If you're losing weight, actually, that's more valuable really than someone who can score goals. And there's definitely an understanding now. I think that everyone sort of just gets on with it and does what they're doing to lose weight. So yeah, there's a lot of support there. Is what I'm kind of getting at. But let's go back, because I'm quite interested before we sort of come on to that. So your ex-forces then. So as a sort of late teens, early 20s, you must have been sort of prime fitness, very fit and active.
Yeah, I joined the army as a boy soldier at 17 years old. I was only in for 6 years. I got a nasty injury. I smashed my knee up. And that was part of the reason why I left and met my missus at the time. But yeah, so joined at a boy soldier and turned into a man, I guess, in them 6 years. You grow up fast. Good times. A lot of, obviously, physically fit. Done a lot of sport as well. I've always been quite average at sport, whether it's football, rugby or cricket. I was always the 11th man at cricket at school. I didn't quite make the team, but, carry the kit for the lads. But no, I just loved it. I digress a bit there, but yeah, I've always enjoyed sport and stuff and keeping actively fit while I was younger. So I wasn't a big guy when I was younger, really. And with the army stuff, I was a part of quite a successful tug of war team as well in the army, and that gave me a lot of mental resilience, if you like, which has helped me massively in the runs that I've done recently. I think it's a true thing when people say they're a veteran, they're not a civilian. It's quite true. You never take the army out of the person, if that makes sense. Although I only done 6 years, you live it. You're in each other's pockets 24/7. So, but yeah, good times back. A long time ago now. It was 2004 I left, but yeah, good times.
Fair enough. No, that's good. And so yeah, so then fast forward, you got to this position where you had sort of health problems with sciatica. You're massively overweight, and you make that decision, right? I need to start taking my health seriously. I need to lose some weight. What did that look like? What was the first steps? Obviously, you joined Man v Fat. How did your diet look at this point?
Yeah, pretty terrible. And I'll openly admit it's not great now. I'm a bit of a binge drinker, still am. My diet is almost like a squattie's diet still. It is. I say it's terrible. It's not terrible. The way I do things, I do it quite differently. I think everyone has to do their own way. And I get it that guys weigh their food and they check their calories and they use the apps and stuff. I don't do that personally. It's just it's not for me. What I literally do is I'm extremely disciplined during the week. And then weekends is what I want to do. I do what I want to do. And if there's something on during the week, like a birthday or something, then I'll change the rules. I'll say, no, I'll do what I want that day. I won't let it take over my life as such. What I started to do back then, because of my eating habits and everything was totally out of the window, like everyone's is to start with. I started changing little things. And I think that's important to ram home to lads, that there's some lads that lose a little bit of weight, then they struggle to carry on and they put it back on and they go around in a vicious cycle. And I get that. Yeah, you need a bit of discipline and you need to give yourself a kick up the arse, but you also need to just chip away little things. It might just be like, I'm not going to eat in the evening, or I'm going to cut out bread, or you know what I mean, or like certain carbs, but don't do it all at once, because if you try and do it all at once, it won't work. So I literally chipped away and cut out.
Yeah.
Like, to start with, Man v Fat, I looked at it and I thought, right, okay, I've got to score. If I lose weight this week, I'll help score goals for my team. Okay, what I'll do then is I won't drink during the week. And, I used to drink a lot more back then. And so I cut out booze during the week. And my missus would go we play on a Friday, and my missus would go on a Thursday. Oh, it's the weekend now, or it's almost the weekend. Are you going to have a beer? And I'm like, no, I can't have a beer. I don't want to let lads down tomorrow, like a lot of us say, So I'd cut out that. Then I'd cut out crisps, and then I'd cut out something else. But I also didn't beat myself up. So if you're having a rubbish time in life, things happen, don't they? We all go through things, I don't know, something horrendous happens, like somebody dies. You probably don't give a crap about your diet, do you? Or if you're going on holiday, or I always say to the lads, if you don't come off holiday over the weight you've gone on holiday, then you're doing something wrong. You need to go back on holiday, because you've got to enjoy it, haven't you?
Yeah.
But when you come back, then you get back on it,
Yeah.
So it's the little things that I chip away at to start with to get to where I am now, really. But now what I do is I'm big on intermittent fasting, and I cut out all the crap during the week, basically, pretty much. That's how I do
that's
things
interesting
now, in terms of me eating.
Yeah, we did last week's episode on intermittent fasting. Certainly when the time of this comes out, just for reference. So tell us your experience of intermittent fasting. I think just because it is sort of hot off the press for us in that sense.
Yeah, so I tried it before Man v Fat, and I tried it like for quite a long period of time. So I started off basically not eating for 3-4 hours. So I'd try in the morning to not have breakfast, and then I'd go 3-4 hours and then eat something, and then 3-4 hours and eat something, and then I tried to cut out not eating during the evening, and sort of broke it down like that. Then I tried not eating for a day, and I'd done it. The most I've ever done it is 3 days, just pure water, a bit of electrolytes, and coffee in the morning. That's it. But that, I decided that's not for me, and I wouldn't do that again, I don't think. Although I believe there are positive health reasons to do that, but I'm not a doctor, so don't, it's just stuff I've read. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Yeah. So what I do now with the intermittent fasting is I actually cut it out. Before I joined Man v Fat, I cut it out for a whole. I didn't drink for a whole month. I was so miserable, and I'd done intermittent fasting like quite religiously, and I stuck to just pure carnivore diet, so just eating meat and eggs, and I lost quite a lot of weight doing that. But I realised I couldn't sustain it. I just couldn't sustain it. I like going for a beer. I was just so miserable. So what I do now is basically I do my own version of intermittent fasting during the week normally. So Monday to Friday, I will have a coffee in the morning, and as much water as I want throughout the day. And if I come to sort of midday and I'm hungry, I'll eat something, but it'll be something like a couple of boiled eggs. Now, to some people that sounds boring, but it's literally just to take off that edge. But what I try and do is drink water first, because that normally deals with it. But some days, because I'm so used to it now, some days I don't even notice that I need to eat until I get later in the evening or mid-afternoon. I'm like, I've not eaten anything today, or I've only had a couple of eggs today. But then there are some days where, especially because obviously I've been training for ultra marathons, where if I am doing long runs, that's totally different. I've got to fuel it. But like this last week, I haven't run. So I've literally gone back to sticking to just a coffee in the morning, maybe a few eggs at dinner, and then a main meal in the evening, and that's it. And that's kind of been my routine. And honestly, your body gets used to it. But you have to, again, it's the same with taking out bad things. You have to do a little bit at a time. So a couple, 2 or 3 hours here and there. And I wouldn't imagine, say you're a builder or something, a job where it's physically strenuous all day, you're probably not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to eat something. But again, then eat something more proteiny, not too many carbs, and then I'd imagine you'd be able to kind of do it that way. I'm not sure.
Okay. And so what's your main meals look like then in the evenings?
Quite good. We have fairly healthy foods, normally home cooked, proteiny. We do have some carbs, and don't get me wrong, we have stuff like stir fries and a lot of meat based stuff, but there are carbs in some foods. We have pastas and stuff like that, which is handy for my training, to be fair. But and admittedly, we have processed stuff every so often. It's easy. Sometimes when I'm busy, I do chuck oven chips in the oven or in the air fryer or whatever, just because it's easy. And yes, we do still have the odd takeaway, because I think you have to mix it up. You can't. You need a treat every so often, but it's one of them, isn't it? If you're constantly taking the mick and over treating yourself, that's when you go into them bad habits. I think every so often. So yeah, I am strict, but then not overly strict, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But do you think that discipline came from your army days then?
Possibly, yeah. I'm quite stubborn when I get my head on with something, with a goal. Like, for example, our new season at Man v Fat's starting tomorrow night. So about 3 weeks ago, our season fizzled out because the Purples basically won the league. So there's nothing to play for. So I'm quite competitive in that sense, on and off the pitch. So I was like, lads, like, oh, how much are you going to lose this week? I'm like, what? There's no point, is there? You can't win a medal. Like, why is everyone excited about losing now? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll encourage them, because I'm not going to discourage them to lose weight. That's what we're there for. But so I am quite disciplined in that respect. So with the new season starting now, I'll be on it, and I'll be on to people like, what do you mean you're eating crap on a Friday morning? We're weighing in a few hours later. You can go about that for, So yeah, I'm quite, the discipline, yeah, comes from the military side, I guess. But I am quite stubborn and competitive as well. So,
yeah.
So with your training, so you said earlier that when you were starting your weight loss journey, if you like, your friend just signed you up for an ultra, and I don't think I've ever heard of anyone just going, yeah, let's just start at ultra. Like, normally you get like the 5K, and then you get the 10K, then you get the half marathon. What happened with that then? How did that go? Did you do the one he signed you up for?
No. I said, well, I have done it. I have done it since, but I didn't do that one that he signed me up for. So I said, there's, I know, I'm all for doing something if I've got my head, my mind. I think mindset's massive with eating, with physical activity, or anything you do in life. I think your mindset is huge. I think you get that right, everything else falls into place. And my mindset was like, get lost. I'm not doing that. And I knew there's no way because I didn't used to like running, as I said, when I was a squaddy, let alone doing it for fun now. So I said, no, I'm not doing it. So no, I didn't do that one. I cancelled it. And the thought of doing it didn't enter my head until back into last year. So I'd lost a bit of weight with Man v Fat, doing okay a couple of years in, and went through a few things in my family. Got the T-shirt on here, Huntington's disease. So I went to raise some money for them by doing these ultra marathons. And I was thinking to myself, what can I do to raise money for this charity? And I'd done charity boxing about 10 years ago. And I thought, I'm too old for that now. I'm 44 years old. I don't want to get a punch in the head. It's not enjoyable anyway. So what can I do? And I thought I need to do something really out of my comfort zone. I don't want to do something that I think is quite easy, like no disrespect to anybody that does a 10K for charity. But to me, that would just be like, well, yeah, it'd be quite tough on the day. But I just wanted to do something that I thought there's a chance I might not be able to do this. There's that if I don't train hard enough, a bit like with the boxing, I thought if I didn't train hard enough, people are going to come and watch me get my head kicked in. So I trained hard for it. And it's the same with the ultras, really. I thought, right, I'm going to have to, because the ultras I signed up for, they weren't flat ultras. They weren't on road. They were off road through technical terrain. So you're sort of speed yomping, as we call it in the military. You're going as quickly as you can up hills, running the flats and downs as best you can, and you go through lots of technical terrain. And it's a long way as well. 50K is not a short distance. So yeah, so it's a charity thing that motivated me, really, because as a family, we've gone through quite a bit with close family with Huntington's disease. So I turned to my fellow assistant coach Jamie in our league. He deals with all the 11s stuff. He organises a lot of 11s charity games. As a league, we've actually raised over 17 grand in the last 2.5 years.
Wow.
Do it for different charities, so that if the lads are doing, say, a charity run or bike ride or whatever, because we've got lads that have done half marathons, full marathons, bike ride, long bike rides and stuff. If they do that, then he'll set up a charity 11s. We'll play each other internally. 2 managers will put their hands up to be manager, and then pick teams, and then we'll play that game. All the lads chip in, and that's how I kick-started it. So we had a game for my charity, and then I went, right, I need to do something that's going to be that I might even not enjoy, because I'm not particularly a runner, and so that's why I put myself forward for this. Actually, when I signed up for it, my mate, because my mate said, I said, right, okay, I'll do this then to my army mate, and I'd had a few beers, and he messaged me. He said, the company we're running with, mate, he said, you can actually do the GB Slam. You can do Scotland, Wales, and England all in the same year. He says, why don't you do that? Why don't we do that? And I said, mate, no, no way. I said, I'm doing 50k and that's it. He says, about three beers later, I said, all right then. So he said, get on social media now and tell everyone. Then you've done it. Then it's accountability. You can't back out. So I put it on social media. Woke up the next day and I went, what have I done to myself? Like, what an idiot.
But your mate sounds brilliant. He proper pushes you, doesn't he? You don't accept that. It's like, yeah, he doesn't do things by halves by the sound of it.
No.
So you signed up for all 3. So you've gone from running a little bit to running, or dedicating to running 150k over in a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'd done like the odd 5k here and there. Obviously the footy at Man v Fat. I'd done a local 10k with a few Man v Fat lads, and that's it. And then so the beginning of this year, that was last year. So I went into it this year. Literally started train. I'd never run on trails, so I needed to buy proper trail trainers, and I'd run like 15k and I'd trip over branches. I fell a few times because it's not like running on pavement. You have to think about where you're going to put your feet, and all these things come into play, especially in the peaks and stuff like that where I normally train. And then obviously your muscle groups and stuff. My legs were getting trashed going up and down hills and stuff. Trying to run downhill is really tough on the legs and stuff. So yeah, I went from doing the odd 5k and that 10k to it literally my first half marathon. Obviously I'd done bits back in my army days, stuff like, because with ultras you have to carry your own kit and be quite self-sufficient. You literally have 4 aid stations you can visit during that 50k. So you have to carry your own water, you have to carry emergency kit just in case you break a leg or whatever out in the middle of nowhere. So I was used to sort of from a squaddy days from carrying kit, no problem with stuff like that. That didn't faze me. But yeah, it's just getting into the routine of things. And what I also done is I haven't quite completed it yet, but what I've said is I'd run the distance between Land's End and John O'Groats during my charity challenges. And the reason why I said that is because I knew I'd have to get in the miles to do that. So that would then make me put the training in, because I thought I can't turn up at an ultra marathon, have him run 5k and think, oh, I'll blitz this because I'll probably kill myself. So do you know what I mean? So I started doing 5-10ks, started getting regular with 10ks, then the odd half marathon all on trails, and just built it up from there really.
Well, that's the thing, mate, isn't it? Like in your army days, you would have covered a lot of Ks. Like you would have done a lot of miles. You'd have done like that. But the thing is, though, mate, then you were in your 20s. Like you're now in your 40s, right? And it's not the same, is it? It's so much harder. So, no, good stuff.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I haven't completed the John O'Groats to Land's End yet, because I've had niggly injuries along the way. And you forget in your 40s, you know, I've had problems with both feet. during it, and I've pulled different muscle groups because you still think you're 20, but you're not.
Yeah, in
That's
your
isn't
head
it?
you
Yeah.
are, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, Matt, like how long would it take you to do one of these ultras?
So I done Scotland. You're asking me now. Scotland was 8 hours something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't remember the exact time. I think it in total, including times at aid stations, it took me nearly 10. But Wales took me longer because we literally went over a mountain. So it was like, yeah, it was hands and feet job. It was literally over rocks. You couldn't physically run over it. If you tried to run over it, you just snapped your legs. Yeah, it was mental. And the terrain in Wales as well, even down off the mountains, everywhere you put your feet, it's like mentally draining as well as physically, because you have to literally think, right, I've got to put my foot there, got to put that foot there, I've got to put that foot there. And there's a couple of times I fell, just bobbled. I thought I've done my ankle here, and then you just get back up and you keep going. Somebody goes, "You all right, mate?" And I go, "Yep, I'm good. Keep going." But you literally have to watch where you're putting your feet, because you put it in the wrong place, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So that was so yeah, that was the Wales one, and then so I done Scotland first, then Wales, and then England. So they were all between, including the aid stations, sort of 10 hours plus. I think England I done 2 weeks ago Sunday, and that took me, moving time, it took me 8 hours 15, and nearly around 10 hours in total, including aid stations. I honestly can't believe how much. Still, I said to my mate, need to cut down this time at aid stations. Just get your water, get your electrolytes, and move. But you don't realise how much just taking your jacket out of your bag, putting it on, grabbing a few things, all of a sudden you've been there 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, how, but I'm a complete novice to it. You learn these things as you go along. But yeah, it's been enjoyable. I've enjoyed it, believe it or not, even though I'm not a runner.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say that now, mate.
Someone who's not a runner
No.
someone who's not a runner to then turn around and do 3 ultra marathons is fantastic. And obviously we take our hat off to you, mate. The question now is, where do you go from here, Matt? What's next?
Well, we sat down actually the last couple of days and made a few plans, and so basically I realised after Scotland, the races that we signed up for, it comes under a thing called UTMB. It stands for Ultra Trail Mont Blanc. So basically, this sounds crazy, but I thought, before I signed up for these ultras, I thought, it sounds crazy. Can I do it? So I'm thinking, can I challenge myself a bit further? So basically, the Ultra UTMB have loads of qualifying races around the world. They only have 2 in England, in the UK. So 1 in Cornwall in January, and there's 1 in Wales in Snowdonia in May. And if you finish podium, I'm not going to obviously do that, I'm really slow, but if you finish on the podium, you get an automatic qualification for the finals in France in the summer of the following year. If you finish a race, you then get what they call a virtual running stone. It's basically a lottery ticket, ballot ticket to run in the finals. So the more stones you collect, the more chances you've got of getting in. So we're kind of making plans now to run the Arc of Attrition, they call it, across the Cornish coast in January, which will be nice and cold and probably wind and rain like we had in the peaks. And then I'm going to do Snowdonia in May, and then we might possibly enter one in July time. So basically what we want to do, we want to get as many running stones, and we want to try and run in the finals in France, which sounds mental, but that would just be epic to be able to line up with the best in the world. And like, all I want to do, I'm not going to do it for the charity, then I'm going to call the charity stuff the end this year, but I'll just be representing all the fat blokes that love beer and pies. That's what I'm there for.
Yeah. Mate, I love that. And for fellow Norwich City supporters as well.
You should get a T-shirt made up, mate, for those people. You can run it with a T-shirt with like a Greg's pie on it or something.
It's funny you say that. The team I'm in on Fridays at the minute, we're the Yellers, and we've got Jamie, who's on our team as well. He got made up the shirts. I'm not sure if I'll get done for sponsorship here, but we had Greg's put on it on our shirts.
No, it's brilliant. That's good. Yeah, that's what I love about Man v Fat though. There's like there is the. Do you know what? Like, let's not take this too seriously. Like, let's take the weight loss seriously. But like the team names, they're stupid. Like, it's a laugh, isn't it? And it's quite important, I think. Mate,
what's your team name, Matt?
Weirder Beer Men.
The Beer Men.
Weirder Beer Men. As in
Weirder Beer. Yeah. I love that.
We're quite a social group, to be fair. We've been out for curry nights. We were out the weekend at some German beer festival. So yeah.
Where else would you be?
Well, yeah, exactly.
They're representing.
End of season, mate, innit? And like, you've got to have an end of season curry. We used to do it on both of the teams that I played for previously. We used to do that end of season. Do you know what? You'd want your first weigh in to be a bit heavier anyway, so let's go for a curry a few days before and get it out. Yeah, definitely. Do you play 11s as well then? Or
yeah, I do. Yeah. I don't mind playing 11s. Yes, it's all right. I'll be honest. I prefer the internal stuff than playing against other Man v Fat sides, but I have played against other Man v Fat sides. And actually, we had our first veterans game recently, which I really enjoyed because I didn't have like 25-year-olds to mark. Instead, I played left back. I could actually push up the pitch.
Yeah.
So it was all right.
Oh, good stuff. So, mate, I apologise for this because it's a bit ignorant, but like, you did a lot of running for Huntington's disease, and it's obviously very close to you, and you want to sort of raise as much money as you can. First of all, mate, I apologise for this, but what sort of is Huntington's disease? We'll just give us a sort of snapshot of how it affects people and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Huntington's disease is a hereditary disease. So you literally can only inherit it. It's basically everyone's born with the Huntington's gene inside them. And if you have I can't remember what it stands for. It's called a CAG repeat. I can't remember what it stands for, but basically, find it hard to explain this. It's basically a person that doesn't have Huntington's, they will have their Huntington's gene CAG repeat will be something around 20. Don't quote me. I think it's between 10 and 20, whatever they are, like CAG repeats. If you have the Huntington's gene, you're going to have a CAG repeat of over 40. And if people, in extreme cases, some people have it like in the 60s, and they're likely to be juvenile Huntington's, really younger person. Most people develop it from their mid 30s onwards. So if one of your biological parents has Huntington's, you then have a 50-50 chance of getting the disease. Literally, that is it. And the disease is it's a bit like Parkinson's, motor neurone. I can't remember the other disease that Alzheimer's, I think it is, all rolled into one. It's not a nice disease at all. It's a nasty thing, and it's not good. And yeah, unfortunately it's in my family, so it's been quite a personal thing for me. That's I wouldn't say I needed motivating to do the ultras, but obviously that's always in the back of my mind. I can't let the charity down. Cannot let them down.
Yeah, and I think that's going to push you those extra miles, and just to get over that line and get that money raised. And how much did you raise for the charity over the ultras, mate? So
I haven't shut my charity page yet, but I will do when I've finished the John O'Groats to Land's End thing. But it's around 2,700 quid at the minute. So fantastic. I've got a little bit of money to come in from a few people, so I'm hoping I'll raise about $3,000 in the end. That'd be lovely. I can't thank the Man v Fat lads enough, because they've helped massively with the footy match, football cards, all them sort of bits, and also personal donations. They've been massive to helping me with it, really.
And is that on like a GoFundMe, mate? Is it that you're doing that on?
Yeah, Just Giving. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. So like, obviously, if anyone's listening to this and they got a few quid to spare, however big and small, have a look in the description. We'll put it in there, and help Matt get it up that little bit more for a good cause.
Like I say, just before we round it up, Matt, it's just what bit of advice would you give to a sort of fat guy that's sat out there now who's struggling to get a grip of things, maybe living in denial right now? What's that first bit of advice you'd give them?
Yeah, I guess when you are in denial, there's something that gives you a kick up the bum. Mine was the sciatica situation where I just felt like crap and in pain. But when you do get that kick up the bum and you want to lose weight and you want to do something and you want to get out of that rut, my advice is don't try and do everything at once. It's the same when you turn up at Man v Fat first time. Don't think you need to play the whole game. You know, you can play 5 minutes, have a breather, come back on. I was knackered first time I went to Man v Fat, so it's really, really tough to start with. But now I can do 90 minutes on the 11s pitch, no problem. So, but it's little bits, chip away. Don't try and do it all at once. And it's the same with the eating, you know. Don't beat yourself up if you do want that beer or you do want that pizza or whatever, but take little things away, whether it's just one night a week or 2 nights a week. You're not going to eat certain foods, and then just build it up. Really, that's my advice to them, and try and get in that right mindset. And you will. The more you lose weight and the more physically fit you get more into that mindset. For me, like going without certain foods and being disciplined in the week, it's really easy now. To start with, that wouldn't have been. I'd be having crisp sandwiches and loading them up with all sorts of stuff. So yeah, don't be hard on yourself, but then don't be too hard on yourself if you wane from it. But yeah, sometimes you do need to be hard on yourself, give yourself a kick up the bum and say, look, I need to get a grip here. But yeah, just little bits at a time, chip away at it. You can't do it overnight. Yeah, I know some lads do lose a lot of weight in a short period of time, but with me, I didn't want to totally change my lifestyle. I like a beer, I do like a kebab, but again, you can't do that every night of the week. You can't sustain that. So it's knowing when to take the mick and say, you know what, I went for that German beer festival. I'm going out. I'll drink as much beer as I want tonight, but then tomorrow I won't. You know, I'll be disciplined, and the next day and the next 5-6 days until weigh-in tomorrow night. Yeah, he is. Sorry, I waffle, but it's just, you know, them little bits, chip away at it. Don't expect to do it all at once.
Yeah, no, that's great advice, and I think there's a lot we can all take from that. And guys, if you're just about to start your weight loss journey, that's a very good place to be. If you're struggling, maybe you're not getting to that next, you want to lose that next stone or whatever, and you're midway through, again, just make a subtle change to sort of get the ball rolling again. I think we'll wrap it up there, Matt. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And so we will put like a link to your Just Giving page in the show notes. So if people want to donate, they can. And thanks for coming on and thanks for sharing your story, Matt. We really appreciate it, mate.
No problem. Thanks for having me.